Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today I'm with two very special guests, Truth and Klevah from the hip hop duo Mother Nature.
Ooh, I like your intro. Right. You saying the names right, okay?
Thank you. I'm usually terrible with names, but I've been trying really hard to practice lately. So you just stay in the mirror and Klevah, Truth, Klevah. I got it.
That was gonna pop out.
Exactly. So I actually find your guys' music, personalities, workshop very inspiring. And I wanted to actually start a few years ago when you first started the Miseducation of Hip-Hop, because I feel like there's a myth that you need a certain level of like influence or celebrity to be able to teach others.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys had just started out your career and you're actually just now starting to get signed. So that's crazy that you guys started doing these workshops 4 years ago, 2016. So just tell me a little bit more about that.
Seeing us.
Most definitely. Yeah, so that's pretty much how we began to do our collective work. It was always based within the community. At the time it was like the Trayvon Martin case going on, Mike Brown, those types of things. And on the college campus that we originally met at University of Illinois in Champaign, it was just a lot of stuff going on with the police and stuff like that. And it was just a lot of tense stuff going on in regards to people just getting locked up. You just a lot of racial tension going on. So we just felt it within us to utilize hip hop the way it has informed us. Is to act. So from there we started to just build with other organizations that were already on campus and in the community. And then we began to branch out and just start to work specifically with the youth to allow them to freely express themselves, just to show them who they were, explore their genius and things of that nature. And from there, we pretty much just built the Miseducation of Hip-Hop workshop series, which is housed within our nonprofit, Mother Nature Incorporated. And there we are bridging the gap between hip-hop, mental health, entrepreneurship, scholarship, all of those great things. And it's pretty much our soul work, and it's really what built the foundation for Mother Nature, the rap group. Yeah. And it was really what inspired us to create that first project, Mother Nature, the EP, which then became us. So always rooted in community and just growing in elevation.
Yeah, and I think that just to answer your question or to kind of reflect on that statement, you definitely don't have to be of a celebrity status to be influential, especially when it comes to kids in your community. Kids already kind of see us in that light. It's like when we come with our full energy, we come with our steez, you know what I'm saying? And we keep it really honest and try to break that generational gap that is usually exists between kids and adults, So we really come in not as teachers, but as practitioners of hip hop and of community building and loving ourselves. And I think that that's the main thing the kids see is wow, these women they really love themselves. They really out here doing what they want to do, and they making it look good. I think that more often we should see artists putting themselves in those positions, because we are incredibly influential, and this is just what we've done in the past 3 or 4 years, not to mention what we're going to do in the next 5 years as we continue to rise in the industry. So sure. Yeah, I definitely think that's a myth, and I'm here to, we're here to defy it and show others that you can be just as cool as the next person, but be out here giving genuine love and having a purpose and moving in that purpose.
I even saw the Grammys interviewed guys about that. So how did that interview come to be?
It's our second interview with Grammy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree. Shout out to Jack Reedy. He really just been following us, since the onset, and just, he's a freelance writer, so he just, writes for any and everybody. So we just blessed to that he saw something in us to tap us into the Grammys, of course. But yeah, it's always dope because we see ourselves as, future Grammy Award winning, artists, so it only makes sense. And it's pretty much the same thing that we tell everybody. We started, how we started, and the mission of what we do is kind of what gravitates a lot of people to our music, to us as individuals, is like you get what you see. You know what I'm saying? It's really is like it's hip hop to the core. It's knowledge based. It's about creating. It's about cipher building. All of those great things. So I think us just being in that vein and staying true to it is what allows other folks to see that not only just within us, but in our music as well.
And everything you guys are doing right now is like Chicago based, am I correct?
Pretty much, but we just came off a residency in LA,
Oh
with
wow.
the virtual residency with the Miseducation of Hip-Hop. Big shout out to Guitars Over Guns organization, for really just aligning that with us. Man, yeah, so we've done different things in different spaces. Of course, before COVID, we would like to pull up at different locations, different schools, organizations that we partner with, to really do our work. But right now, we are in the virtual space, currently working with Kenwood Academy here in Chicago through After School Matters and Guitars Over Guns.
And we find that like the work in Chicago is essential, and there's a reason why the miseducation is really developed here, and it's just because like we learn how to like make these changes in our own city with the type of influences that affect our youth here, like in the center of the map. We know that like it's going to make our program so much stronger as we take it out to the world. And we've had glimpses of that. Like she said, we've been able to pop up here, pop up there, but also, like accompany a workshop with the tour that we're doing. And now that we're in this virtual space, it's like even better because, we can't be everywhere all the time. And especially with us like being like as involved and hands-on with our work as we are, the virtual space really allows us to expand and reach people in different countries and all that. So like we're really like at a place where we know what the miseducation is. It's solid. There's the foundation is there, and now we kind of have like this new terrain to explore where it's like, man, like it's who knows, like we just know that we want to be impactful and we want to reach as many kids as possible, because everyone can benefit from like the lessons of hip-hop and using hip-hop as a tool for change.
Yeah, that's very exciting. Macklemore, he's from Seattle, and he has a similar program, literally called the Residency, and it's cool to see that there's programs like that in other states. That's really cool. So, can you break down the title for us, the Miseducation of Hip Hop?
Man.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a big shout out to Miss Lauren Hill.
Yes.
Big fans. Like I don't even know. Like it's also understanding like the power of hip hop. You feel me? So for us to have been up and coming artists and young adults and like growing within hip hop, it really showed us who we were, like our abilities, our capabilities, like how expansive we truly are. And I really want to give a big shout out to our professor, one of our professors, mentors, big sister, homegirl, Ruth Nicole Brown. She was currently at university, or she was at University of Illinois during the time we were, and really like showed us our own individual work in a way that's like, man, this is so much more than us like just taking our emotions, taking how we feel and putting it on paper or performing it. It really showed us like how much like the lessons, the gems, the things that we gravitated towards through hip hop have been like monumental in our growth as individuals. So like, man, if we were, in high school, elementary, that type of thing, and had these type of tools or somebody to teach us this, how much like further we would be in life. So it's just like, man, let's utilize what we have and really just put that into a program to show the kids who they are. Because at the end of the day, like we use hip hop, but it's still like a youth development program. Like we're trying to make you a better individual. We're trying to show you your genius. We're trying to like just to get you to see who you truly are and understand like anything that you're trying to do. Let's create a pathway for that. That's the basis of hip hop, like taking nothing and turning it into something. So the miseducation is really us just breaking down all the ills and all the things that we see in our daily lives, the radio music that we hear that people think that's just the end all be all for hip hop, and really breaking it down to go further. Like it's about peace, it's about love, it's about knowledge, it's about coming together, like all these different types of things. So the miseducation just birthed out of all of that, and here we are.
Wow. It's crazy because when I think of miseducation, I definitely think of Lauryn Hill. It's like she owns that word.
Oh yeah.
For real. For real, for real. And I think that like when it comes to Lauryn Hill, when we think about figures in hip hop, Lauryn is one of those first artists that really made me think on another level. She brought a certain level of femininity to the industry, on top of like conscious living and being just self aware and digging in deeper to be better. And I think that is, how we coming into the industry for one, but also it's like that's how we build with our shorties.
Mm.
So yeah, the miseducation, it was perfect because we women, and so it's like the miseducation. Like there was no other name that we could have came up with that would have been better than that. So it just is what it is, man. Breaking it down so we can build it up because there's a lot of misinformation when it comes to hip hop. There's a lot of just skewed views of it or like judgment towards hip hop, as even when it comes to the stuff that we listen to, and as we're breaking down hip hop, we're learning things with our kids, and just using it as a tool, a literary tool to understand ourselves better, understand the systems we live in, understand how to build with each other, and sustain life at the end of the day.
Mm. Yeah, when I think of hip hop from like the male perspective, rappers are supposed to be like taking drugs or just messing with tons of women, having tons of cars. So I feel like those stereotypes fit more with like the male perspective. What are some like stereotypes when it comes like the female rapper?
Stereotypes.
I think the stereotypes are just universal. Like
Yeah.
a lot of
Okay.
women that's like taking over the industry, like talking about the same stuff.
Yeah,
to me
it's
about
all
Hmm.
hypersexual.
Yeah.
It's all
hyper consumption,
Yeah.
like over consumption, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And like, look, that's cool because we still can see like the gem that is within that. You feel me? But the problem is that it's so off balance.
not
Like you
balanced.
only getting one side. You're not getting folks like when you pull up on the station and listen to something that is giving you something with like deeper meaning that's causing you to think. You know what I'm
This
saying?
nourishment to your spirit, like, and we're just giving more options. Like when we come through, for you to hear Mother Nature is like, man, let me tap into something that's gonna take me to another place. Like we all used to being in this
in club,
Right.
and the jewelry and the bottles, all that. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? But like, okay, when I'm done teeing up, now where I'm at. You feel
Right.
me?
Or when I lose my ground and I'm
That
out here like low key not having a good season.
Right.
How do I get back and not be in a space of just like, surface level?
Yeah.
Oh, I look good.
You feel good. Like it's something different.
Are you treating people good? Are you
That
treating
part.
yourself good? So it's just like, man, challenging people to like just to challenging people to tap into their divinity. I think is the goal, and we just don't have enough of that.
So when you think of other artists in the industry that might inspire you, do you look more towards a Cardi B or like a Chika, Rhapsody type artist?
I take from everybody. You know what I'm saying? Cardi out here, Meg is really like goals. Like I ain't even gonna hold you.
But Rico, you know what I'm saying?
Rico,
we
nasty.
Rico in there. We throw like Rhapsody.
Man, and of course, like the contemporaries when we think about it, J. Cole, Kendrick, that we still waiting on projects from. You know what I'm saying? But
no, we
take
truly,
from everybody.
Yeah, honestly, like this question is I think it could change every season in terms of like who we're listening to and what inspires us. But the main thing is like we listen to everything, but we are definitely attracted to the greats. So that's timeless music. That's music that came before we was here. It's music that our moms listened to. It's music that we listened to when we was young. Golden era of hip hop on top of soul music, on top of R&B. Like we are truly influenced. Like we're 90s babies. So we're truly influenced by like just great music, great performers, and being here where we are, especially with us being like, elders to our students in the miseducation. Like it's important for us to stay tapped into music that's contemporary. So it's like I find that we're always mixing sounds, we're mixing all genres, and trying to stay present, but also like allow people to have just a timeless experience.
Do you think you guys both have like different music tastes though, or are you always showing each other different songs, or how does that work when you guys are listening to music together?
Yeah, I think we have similar music tastes for sure. Like if she likes something, I'm gonna like it. And most likely if I like something, I feel like she's gonna like it. However, we do have different tastes. Like she'll be in here listening to like some straight R&B, soul music, and that's the vibe I'll usually catch her in. And for me, I don't know, I kind of be all over the place. It depends on the day, but like you might catch me in just like I might just be listening to 90s hip hop or something of that. You know what I'm saying? Something of that vibe. I feel like those are our what we go to for inspiration, as well as like our comfort zones and the types of music that we make and have made before we became Mother Nature. However, we are like exploring other genres together, which is cool.
That's pretty cool. So I want to hear more because I understand a little bit about your guys' backgrounds, but before we talk about how Mother Nature came together, because I definitely want to talk about how you guys met in college, I'd like to figure out like how you guys both got your start making music in the first place. So let's start with Klevah.
For me, I started making music. There's just different points in my life. When I was first, like, conceived, around like 3 or 4, I would be with my pops in his studio, and he would like sample me. It would be like sample based stuff, but he had his own home studio, so it was really cool because like I just from jump knew what hip hop was, knew what rap was, wanted to be a rapper, saw myself as a rapper, and he just really instilled that in me. And then getting older, like 10, 11, that's when I really started like having like a pen game, I guess, is like discovering what type of writer I wanted to be, or deciding what type of music I would make. And I didn't know, I'm a kid, I don't really have that many experiences, so it was difficult. But I had the skill, which was cool. And then in high school, that's when I had the bravery to like tell other people I rapped and to rap in front of people. But it wasn't really until college that it became a thing that I would pursue seriously as a career, and that I would start developing my artistry for real, for real. So that's how it went for me. It was like a seed that was planted a long time ago, and it was like a dream, like, I want to be this, I want to be that, da da da. And then it became something that was like, nah, I'm finna do this. Like I can do this. And
Hell yeah.
soon after, we met for real, for real. So
what were you going to college for?
I was going to college for I was in creative writing. I started in journalism, didn't like it, went to creative writing and stuck with it. And I was also doing sociology, so I was like involved in a lot of education and Afro courses, stuff like that. So everything that I honestly studied in college, like definitely pieces up and adds up to what we doing now. So yeah.
There you go.
Thanks. Man, I definitely grew up in a house with like singers, instrumentalists. So that was always a thing. Like my mom always playing like some Prince or some Stevie or Michael Jackson. So that was always heavy. But I was definitely very low key. I was definitely to myself. I was very shy, very fearful as a kid. Just wanted to keep to myself for the most part. So any emotional type of things that I wanted to express, I always just ran to my notebook. I guess you can call it poetry at this point, but when I read it back as an adult, it's definitely like these are like rap bars, but like with no beat type of thing. And I had like 6 or 7 like composition notebooks. Just that's all I did every day. Came home from school, and it was always something that I ran to. Always something that like when I'm feeling any type of emotion, I write it out, whatever it is, and then like I'm good. So definitely like something similar, which is crazy. Like in high school, definitely a thing of like I'm showing like a couple raps and stuff to friends and things like that, but still very to myself, low key, not telling too many folks. And then in college, I didn't have any type of aspirations of like I'm going to be an MC or anything like that. It was a organization where we met called Word on campus that was just full of performers and of all shapes and forms, MCs, singers, poets, comedians, all types of folks. And I just really wanted to join just to get better at writing. Like that's what I wanted to do. During that time, the founders of their organization saw something in me and like just pulled me to like, man, just keep going. Like we need you to do this show and X, Y, and Z. And my first real performance ended up being with Clev. It was a group of us that we opened up for Common, that we had brought down for his like book release or something like that. probably like what 2012, 20, like it was early, you know.
Wow.
And from there, like it just really gave me my confidence. Like, man, I kind of like this. You know what I'm saying? I was nervous, of course, and full of fears, but like to have that community around me to push and be like, no, you got this, you dope, just keep going. It really pushed me to like continue on. So I started to. Once I graduated, I just ran to like all the open mics on campus in the community. I started to link with homies that was doing music heavily, and I started just putting together mixtapes and stuff like that, just putting together shows, all types of things. And as I was doing that, Cleve was, on in the community as well, doing her own thing with our collective now, the Great Thinkers. And like that was just always something like, man, they raw, they dope. Like I'm trying to get on that level type of thing. But it was always like us bumping into each other, still meshing, still coming together, putting each other on shows, all different types of things. And from there, like because we were both moving and building kind of at a consistent pace together, like we were like the spotlights of the community at the time. And we had an opportunity to like share a stage. And from there, it was like, all right, do we do our own thing or do we come together? And like, of course, because we was already sisters at the time, it was like, all right, let's just come together and make a project. That project was Mother Nature, the EP. It kind of blew up, and like, man, we ain't never individually got no looks like this. So it's like, man, let's keep this together and just keep building. So our team at the time just like pushed us to come to Chicago and just build from scratch, and now we here.
Wow, that's awesome. There's a similar program like that in University of Washington called like Retro, and it's kind of like, I guess they don't have it right now because of COVID, but it was like kind of like an open mic night, like every Friday or something like that. But it would be like very diverse, and it was a really cool thing. And a lot of artists that weren't even from UW would go there and perform. It was a huge community. So that's
man, that community aspect really like can make you shine in a way that you can't do alone. So that's why I'm so appreciative of the community that helped me like flourish, and then to like be building our own, and just seeing how so many people are affected by that in such a positive way. Like it's magical to be honest.
Yes. Did you guys have managers during this time at all, or how did that?
Nah, not at the time.
Yeah, we definitely started developing a team.
You started developing a team.
Yeah, I started developing a team. And once we became Mother Nature, in 2015, 2016, then that team started to shape and start to brand Mother Nature. And so the beginnings were, I guess, less of management and more of just like brand development and things like that, figuring out who we are and how we want to represent ourselves in the best light. Already seeing ourselves at the top, and just trying to reach that. So yeah, we got a team. It's always been girls, which is really dope. We work hard, we love on each other. It's been a crazy ride. But yeah, we got gang for sure.
So who chose the title Mother Nature? Did you guys come up together, or did one of you guys like actually?
It chose us.
Yeah,
it chose us.
Yeah, we were just spitballing names, titles. I don't know what any of the other ones were, but one of us said Mother Nature, and it was just like
that became the title of the project.
Mm-hmm.
Not us. That just became the title of the project. The project was so hard, and we pushed it like a real project. We didn't just drop it. We like really like waited on it. Developed it, did the artwork, got everybody, riled up for it, and really released it and to an audience of people. And at that point, we like, okay, people start calling us Mother Nature. That's who we is. So that's who we is.
Wow. So with a title like that, are you guys outdoorsy people, do you feel like? Like, do you guys like going on hikes and stuff like that?
Nature people, I'd say, most definitely. But, like, definitely, because when we think about Mother Nature, the reason why we chose it is because, like, it was the perfect balance of, like, the fire, the thunder, but also the softness, the sun, the flowers, like, and Mother Nature is all of that. Like, she will heal you, she will, like, help you to grow, but she will also destroy what needs to be, broken down, you feel me? So that, like, for us, to come together, it was like that's the energy that we bring together. But also, of course, like we are big on nature, animals, you know, in anything nature, like in its essence, like that's what we about. So
Wow.
we definitely, I think, study nature in all its forms through both like the outside world as well as ourselves and our community, our cipher. Mother Nature, all things natural. It's a learning process for us to become more in alignment with like what God wants from us, and how we can be better leaders, how we can be healers, and all those things we have to look to nature for. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody can really show us those things. Some of our elders can, you know,
but they connected to nature,
so
it's like just follow nature, don't follow me, baby.
Exactly, it's the way.
Have you guys ever thought about doing like a retreat in nature and like just writing for a week
every
or something?
day?
Every day. That is the goal. Maybe we have to come up there. I don't know.
Yes.
Y'all got like good forest areas and stuff. Like
I live in the woods right now. My house is literally in the woods.
Yo.
So we coming to your house.
Yes.
No, for real, we have been talking about that though. Like we really, really need it because one, right now we're trying to write a book. We are also trying to develop like the next 5 years for the Miseducation. We have so many like just cool other ideas for Mother Nature, and we really need to take like a week at least. 2 weeks would be probably better, but like take a week at least to just not work on like, you know, be done with all the things we're presently involved in and just sit with the ideas that we have and write them down, you know. Get everything on paper. So yes, you are in alignment with what we're on. Like we just waiting for the right time.
There we go. So how did getting signed come to happen? Like what was the process behind all that?
Yeah. Getting signed. It was definitely something that was in the back of our minds for a couple years as we were developing, you know, through just grit and grind, just getting it out the mud. Because it just comes at a point in a time where like everything that we're doing is going to like hit a cap at some point. And like now, how can we like be assisted by somebody that has more resources and more experience than we do? You feel me? So that's always in the back of our heads as we've been growing. And like closed sessions like is pretty like big in Chicago, just in like when we think of the bigger names that have come out of Chicago, like when we think of like Currency's earlier work, and we think about, you know, Jamila Woods and things like that. So it was like something that definitely allowed us to gravitate towards it. And as we started to grow and build more, it became more of a necessity. Okay, let's get into some talks. Let's holler at some folks to see what's good. And then the homegirl Jamila Woods really gave us like, that's like move on
shit.
that. So having her come through and just like give us game and like really just educate us on what closed sessions was and how it could be a benefit, it became almost a no-brainer. But it took some time for us to like, you know, break everything down, make sure everything was straight contractually and everything, and just get to know the guys over at closed sessions a bit better. But it's been a beautiful experience though.
And it's just been so straightforward. Like this is what we got, this is what we need. They like, this is what we got, this is what we need. It's like bet. And it's a very transparent situation. It's teaching us a lot how to work with a label, how to work in so many different partnerships at once. That's the part. Like, you know, you got to come ready. You can't just like, if we would have signed a couple of years ago to closed sessions, we would have just been always in conflict and disagreement and what's going on. And now we're like able to handle this level of you got to be responsible and you have to be present, and you have to be clear, and you have to know what you want. You have to be decisive and all those things, you know? So it's like, that's where we at. And of course the universe is going to match us with people that are going to take us from this level to the next level. So it's been a beautiful situation. We've gotten, you know, just a lot of love through them. And they've been able to maximize just our outreach and our access to new opportunities.
Yeah, I was actually like obsessed with closed sessions. I think it was the beginning of the pandemic where they released Closed Sessions Volume 1 with Boathouse. That shit was insane. They had Dave B on that, and he's from Seattle, and I was like, oh my gosh, no one from Seattle is talking about this, but this lineup for this project was insane.
Yeah, man. they go crazy. Boat man, shout out to Boathouse, man.
Shout out to
Like
Boathouse.
executive produced our whole project, seasons
Yes.
and out to the world. We be getting so much love from it, man. But it's like that cohesion that we had with Boater, though, like it was like, man, it was a match made in heaven. So
Yeah,
super
smooth.
How did that connection come to be?
Really through closed sessions and through that mixtape that we put out top of the year. I don't know. We just got in the studio with Boat. That was one of the goals of the label. Is like we'd love to get y'all working with some people. So we got in the studio with him, and it was instantly a match. Like he came out with some straight Timberland Missy vibes, and we like, yo, this is like the next level for us. Like it's what we talk about all the time and want to create. So it was just really cool to be able to play around with him and not have just a blank slate, just a blank canvas. And so we really started to just develop musically with him. Got in the studio a couple times, and then quarantine hit, and we didn't really have an idea of like working with Boat per se. It just came to be. We asked him for a smack pack. He sent us 15, 20 beats. On one of them days, we just started freestyling to him in the crib, and people weren't linking up then, so it wasn't a thing that we could work with him directly. We was just over here rapping. He ain't know nothing about it. And next thing you know, we just we're sitting on an album right now, and we were working on that pretty heavy, but was kind of hitting some some walls and some barriers and not knowing how to take it to the next level. And also just, looking at the scope of like, man, how do we respond to these times, and how do we keep our audience activated until we get this thing done? And Seasons came about. We was like, man, we got that smack pack from Boat. It's already on closed sessions. I wonder if they'll be down to like slide this mixtape in so we could really set a bar and really give people the energy of Mother Nature for people that don't know who we are yet. On top of giving closed sessions a project that was authentically hip-hop. Like, this is authentic hip-hop, and this will work perfect for y'all's audience and for the people that have been following y'all for a decade plus. So it was just a perfect concoction of energy. And, yeah, Seasons, baby. Streaming
There
everywhere.
we go. Before we get into your album, I've noticed, like, throughout your guys' career, you mess with Z's a lot and 8's a lot. What is the meaning behind this?
Yes. That's just the code. We got our own little code.
Source code right there.
Source code. The Great Thinkers, of course, is where the 8 comes from. It's where the great sign comes from, which is 8 in sign language. It's where the concept of infinity comes from. But truly, what it is to be a great thinker is to know that God is in everything, therefore everything is great. So when you see the G, when you see the 8, when you see the hand signal, it's just that code to our community. God is in everything. Everything is great. Keep your mind elevated. Mind over matter. And then when it comes to the Z's, baby,
that's the Z. It's like it gotta be, it gotta be something different. You know what I'm saying? So, and I feel like that's just the hip hop nature within us. Like it gotta, we gotta use
yes.
You gotta put a little funk on it. So you gotta put a little funk on it. And
it became a thing. Like I don't know when, but it's just like
it low key. It did start with us. Like we really be carrying the Z's, but like low key, Mugs have been. As the Great Thinkers, Mugs been. I mean, the Great Thinkers got a Z at the end of it, so it's like
it was all in alignment.
It's kind of like always in the brand. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's some ancient code that we really don't know yet. But when we see other people using Z's too, we be like, oh,
Well, I instantly connect. You feel?
Denzel Curry did it all over his last album.
And it was all capitalized too.
Do you know that we're like right here?
Oh my gosh, I'm waiting for that feature with you guys.
What'd you say?
I'm waiting for that feature with Denzel with you guys.
Hey, speaking into existence.
He's on our list. He's on our list.
He's one of I feel like we could collaborate with everybody in the industry, but Denzel Curry is like one of few people who match our intense energy. Because a lot of I don't see too many women or duos that are coming out like rah 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 rah. Yeah, we be on that, and I love that about Denzel. It's a conscious rage. Yeah, and I really appreciate his music. So soon enough.
What can you guys take away from like a Blimes and Gab, Gifted Gab and Blimes? They're from Seattle as well, so
man, me and Blimes was dope. We actually met Blimes through vocabulary.
Oh,
Which
okay.
came through the Miseducation, really.
Yeah, that was super dope, man. It's just always dope to see like women that are MCs to the core. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. I'm enthralled with your creativity, your artistry, and all of that. So I like that she don't need nothing. I like that they don't need anything extra. They just are dope. You know what I'm saying? We definitely got a chance to kick it with Blimes. And like Gab's always like they show love, through the streams and all the other type of portals. But man, it's just dope to be in good company like that. Like we see each other and like it's always love and it's not no fugaziness involved, and it's beautiful. So we're students of them just as well. So it's love.
Wow. Yeah, they're legends in Seattle.
Man, big facts.
Hey, we honored to be mentioned even in the same breath. So
hell yeah. So from other artists I've interviewed recently, a lot of people are saying that hip hop groups aren't really a thing. What are your guys' opinions on hip hop groups in 2021?
Very false.
That is so false. Like what the collective, the group, that it's everything. Man. I do agree that we haven't seen. I feel like the whole duo thing or doing things as a group is the energy of the 90s. And I feel like as we've grown as a people, everyone has become a lot more individual. But when it comes to a gang like Mother Nature, the Great Thinkers, we are bringing you back to the essence of hip hop. We're bringing you back to the essence of human nature. Like we have to be collective. We have to be have reflections around us. To one, build, to be more impactful, and to keep ourselves on our square. Like I don't know, our cipher really, like us being a duo makes us so much better. Like Klevah without truth is like I'm just out here. Like I'm just in the wind. You feel me? I'm straight air. But I have truth here, and it just makes me so. It allows me to be Mother Nature. It allows me to ground myself enough to become and develop this person. And the same thing for her. I feel like, truth without Klev is like straight rock solid, baby, just rock solid. And
be a little bit more air, you feel me? Like, but it's a beautiful balance. So I think when we talk about duos and collectives and all those good things, like it's so much that comes from it. Like when we think about like Great Thinkers Only Volume 1, you feel me? If you ain't tapped in, definitely tap in. Like you see like how we can intermesh and like intertwine and interweave, and it's so dope because there's so many different voices. There's so many different perspectives, reflections. So to only be one person and only have just you, it's kind of limiting because when I'm with a Klevah, only when I'm with the Thinkers can I like expound in such a way amongst like other great individuals. So. And
it brings you back to the energy of Wu-Tang. It brings you back to the energy of Tribe Called Quest. And it's like that music for us is timeless. It's healing. It's legendary. And I just feel like we become so much stronger in our message when we're in alignment with more than just ourselves.
Wow. And it's cool that you guys have like this 90s vibe because it feels like hip hop is transitioning back to like 90s. There was a lot of like auto-tune going on, and now people are trying to be more conscious with their lyrics and everything like that. So it's exciting. You're doing it at a perfect time.
I think it's explosive. I think that we're getting more of everything. Like we're getting a lot more auto-tune. We're getting a lot more people that are like, I'm just gonna vibe on this record. I'm not even gonna really write anything. I'm just gonna like tap into my subconscious and see what comes out.
And that's beautiful in its essence because hip hop is still very much, still very new. It's still building, still growing.
Yeah.
And to see how like the younger generation are taking it in their own way, like that's how it started in the first place. All the old school jazz, listeners and stuff, hip hop, they ain't gonna be here for no time. It's trash, whatever. But then how it developed over time, how people were able to tell their stories, how people were able to connect folks and build and bridge gaps and things of that nature. I feel like it's now being of a more fast-paced era, it's like almost necessary for people to like I said, let me just vibe on this for a couple. Like, let me just give you the feeling, the emotion of it. Let me just hum on this or do whatever, So I think we kind of limit ourselves and we kind of like just try to keep ourselves in one version of what hip hop can be.
Right.
So I think that's why like all of what we're doing is so dope, because we're taking from the past, we are creating in the present, but we also seeing what the future looks like and taking little bits and pieces and bringing that along with us, because we don't know what hip hop gonna look like in another 20 years. You feel me?
Wow.
So it's like to stifle yourself and be like, no, I ain't gonna indulge in that. You kind of like you slowing the process of like what hip hop is supposed to grow into.
Wow. Hip hop is the best genre. It's so huge. It's just
it's universal. It's a universal
yes.
language. Real. And we had an opportunity to do a international exchange program called Next Level, that allowed us to go to Morocco and Azerbaijan for like 2-3 weeks to really like teach hip hop in our own way. So it pretty much was miseducation, abroad. So it was just so dope to like, I can't speak your language. You might not know what's coming out of my mouth, but when I play this beat and I freestyle, you hopping right in, you b-boying, you know what I'm saying? Like you doing all the things that is hip hop. So like we still like have those connections beyond, these physical limitations due to the fact that we bonded through hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why it means so much to us. That's why the miseducation means so much. And what we do through our music means so much, because without hip hop we wouldn't be, as bright and flourishing as we are now. Like hip hop showed us who we are. Hip hop reflected us when everything else was telling us like we gotta go get a 9-to-5, we gotta do the suit and tie, we gotta you know what I'm saying? Like hip hop allowed us to just be who we were and like just live in it.
Wow. That is so inspiring. See, I don't feel like enough artists realize you don't have to have a huge platform to just start doing what you really love. And then people are eventually going to see that, and then then that's when the money comes in and you can do bigger things with what you're already doing. Like it just continues to grow. It's, oh my gosh.
You get it. You get it.
Wow. That's awesome. So let's get into your album. I this morning actually I watched your Portals live stream that you guys did. And I noticed that you guys had like a theme behind the whole thing, like love is a portal for bliss or something like that. You like had those little quotes that popped up before when we start every song. So I'm guessing there is a theme behind this mixtape as well. Am I correct with that?
Yeah, honestly,
it's a lot like thrown at the wall type of thing. So it's like first off, like we come here to like balance out the game. You know what I'm saying? Like we come to give you bars. Like we was coming out of COVID, so it's like we ain't low, we ain't down, we have vibrational. Right. And we about building with the community. So this was our first project with as many features as we had. It was our first time with like major features. Shout out Valet and Sir Michael Rocks.
I think we gave ourselves like a lot of room to work with. Once we named it Seasons, the music definitely came first, and then the name. And when we said the name, it was that. You know what I'm saying? But I think that name came from just the energy that we've been feeling of like, things are changing. The seasons are changing, and every season that we encounter, whether it be according to nature or just according to the pace that we're moving on, we have to adapt and we have to like get with it, and we have to keep up. And so I feel like this project is, you feel that energy, you feel where we're at with it. And it's really like a conversation between us, like beyond all things conceptual. Seasons is a conversation between me and Sis about where we at, where we going, what we don't rock with, what we're affirming, and I think Seasons was just the perfect name, because it's like as all this chaos is moving around us, we are very still in who we are and what time it is. Like we just know what time it is. So I mean,
it's a beautiful reflection of where we are in this current state. I think this is our most confident work. I think this is our most like foundational, just in regards to like our morals, our principles, what we about, like I said, what we ain't. And just allowing listeners, if it's your first time hearing Mother Nature, you get the fullest scope. You know what I'm saying? You get the bars, you get the messaging, you get the production, you get melodics, you get, collaborations, you get the whole nine. So we just really wanted to like hone back in onto like, man, what is our like baseline? Like, let's go back and like give it to them like now in 2021, like that same group that started back in 2015, 2016, what do they sound like now? So it's, you get the fullest truth that you ever heard, you get the fullest Klevah that you ever heard, just completely no holds bar, no second thinking, no none of that. So it really allowed us to just be free and just do what we do, which is rap.
Wow. And yeah, you guys started off the album with a banger, and it's Antisocial. I think that's the first song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. That was great. I love that was such a good openers to an album are like really important, you know.
Yes. I knew that one had to be number one. I said that before we finished everything, but I knew that one. Like as soon as you play it, it sounds like an intro. Like that's gonna make me continue to listen. So it was like, yeah, we don't do nothing else. That gotta be number one.
It just set the bar. Like man. When you press play, man,
can't walk away, man.
Can't walk away. It's like this is where we at. This is what you about to tap into. This is what you about to explore. So, man, thank you for seeing us. For seeing us.
Yeah, and I like that you guys added like little like skit / like interludes also.
Yeah. Which is like a first for us because like we are so funny together and like we really be in our own world. Like we speak our own language. I don't know if you catch on, that's cool. If you think it's funny, that's cool. But like we wanted to like record skits and we've been wanting to do that for a long time. And this time around, we was like, you know what? Let's keep them real short, real simple, and let's just freestyle them. Yeah, we kind of know what we wanted to be like. Let's just freestyle it. And then we got these little cute, little funny personality clips of us. And so
I think that was very, very important for us because, like you said, we don't really do that on any other of the other projects, and we also wanted to keep this light. So I know, like when you listen to any other song, it still got depth to it, it's still a lot to chew on. But we wanted to like in the in betweens of it, still like get some laughs off, get some real personality. Because 9 times out of 10, you might not see that if you don't know us personally. Right?
So how did you guys go about choosing who you thought would be good for features? Because features are very important when it comes to like who you want to, because they're representing your album in this song as well. So it's more than just tapping into like some cool artist. Like, so yeah, break that down.
Yeah, it really started with we knew that we wanted this to be a project that would be impactful for Chicago, that would be a gem to Chicago. So the original idea was us to have features on it. Period. We was like, we gotta throw features on there. It's a mixtape. Boom, boom, bow. Then before we even got any features, the conversation started to expand and we're like, oh, we kind of have a little more access to some artists that we haven't had previously. So we started kind of just like throwing it out there and be like, yo, I want Twista on this, or I want Dreezy, I want Sir Michael Rocks, we want Valet. And we just kind of like put everybody next to the song that we saw them at. And we started narrowing things down. And the artists that you see on there are the ones that one, we really wanted, and two, end up being like people that were in alignment with the music. So, that worked out well. And then when it came to the homies, you know what I'm saying, Gray Sky, Jeff Koons, Freddie, Murph Watkins, Dave Koresh, Brittany Carter, like this is gang, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we hit them up kind of last minute, maybe like a few days before the project had to be turned in. And for us, it was like, okay, if we reaching up, we also got to reach out. And if this project is going to go up and it's going to rise, these are the artists that we've been cultivating with for the past 3 or 4 years on some type of level that we want to make sure get some love off of this project too. So everybody really just answered the call and came with the sauce. Let me just
and it's coming together.
For better features, better collaborations. It was just match made in heaven.
Yes, on Spotify, some of your like, how's it pronounced? Great Sky.
Great Sky. Mm-hmm.
Like when you look at those artists, when you go to their Spotify, their song with you guys are the ones like on the top of the list. So it's working.
Yeah. We and that's the goal. Like when it comes to the great thinkers, Gray Sky is a great thinker. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to us, it's one of them things like we've been cultivating for so long. I don't think we ever knew who was gonna end up. Boom, boom, boom. We still don't know. Like Mother Nature could be the ones that like kind of bring them out the gate, but we never know. Like we know that like our gang is incredibly talented. Exactly. So like at any point in time, anyone could take the lead and expose us to more people and more opportunities. But that's just what our goal is, and I think every person's goal in a Great Thinkers is to put the gang on. So I'm happy it's working. That's what it's supposed to do. And for things to start with the woman and to start with the feminine, I think that's a beautiful thing in hip hop as well. So I think that our story kind of defies most stories that you see where it's like you see a Biggie, then you see a Lil Kim, where you see an artist that bring like that's literally almost every story for female, hip hop artists.
Rock, Foxy Brown.
Even Bahamadia came through like Gangstar or something like that, and it's like for us,
Aaliyah.
We did come via the Great Thinkers, but it's like Mother Nature is like its own entity, and we taking gang with us. You feel me?
Wow. So how close are you guys with Jeff Koons? Because when you think of Jeff Koons, that's an actual like artist as well. He does like the sculptures.
He's also a great thinker. He is a painter as well as an MC. Curated all types of titles. You feel me? So like, man, like that again, like been building for years. You know what I'm saying? For years. He literally stays next door to us. Like we all in one big ass duplex together.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
But he's our on the squad. There's it's us, Gray Sky, Jeff Koons, Jay Moses are the MCs, and then outside of us we have a group of producers. Then we have other artists. But and we also all share multiple talents. So we're also educators. I also make jewelry. Jeff paints. Gray Sky makes juice and graphic design. So it's like we are really a media collective.
Wow.
And Jeff is probably our most commercial artist, I would say. I mean, he has many other descriptors, but he is the artist who is going to, like, you press play on a Jeff Koons record, past, present, or future, and that is, like, that's the wave. He's just on the wave. So we're very close with him, to answer your question. He's a genius for being able to bring those worlds together, the art world. Like, he really went to school for, like, 2D art. So, and he's always been a rapper. So it's just like for him to bring those two worlds together is just like super dope. We can't wait for him to get the recognition that he deserves.
Hell yeah. So as the duo Mother Nature, what do you guys feel like you each bring to the table?
Wow. What do we bring to the... Okay, so we're going to keep it in terms of the elements. And what I was going back to earlier, I feel like I bring air. I feel like I bring the air. I feel like I bring a spiritual energy, a optimism. I don't know. We probably be better off speaking about like what I can speak on what she brings, and she can speak on what I bring. Man, Truth brings, just real. I don't know if I can cuss. Can I cuss?
Of course, yes.
She a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like Truth is like when I'm like. Like Truth reminds me, like, bro, it's work to be done. I may be in the mood or I may not be in the mood. Also, she's like sees through people. You know what I'm saying? She see through the fugazi. She see through the da-da-da-da. So a lot of times, Truth reminds me to just bring it in a little bit and to bring it in. And then when it comes to the music itself, it's like. It's thorough bars. It's she really is good with breaking shit down. And when it comes to the freestyles, it's just like infinite. It's just infinite. So I don't know. I feel like she brings for me, she's completely reliable when it comes to like a person I trust to do music with, to perform with. Like trusting to perform with somebody is kind of crazy. Like, is you not gonna mess up your part? Is you gonna have the energy? Are you gonna be confident? Are you gonna be da-da-da? And like these are any things that I think I've ever considered. But looking back and being like, damn, that's a reason why I share a stage with her, is because like she brings essentially what I am attempting to bring at all points in time. It's just like reliable, crazy bars, real ass energy, and she gonna push through you. You can't push through her, but she's gonna push through you. And I feel like that's just necessary for me and for us being like a strong hip hop force that is also feminine. She really brings like a forceful energy for me. I don't really know how to explain it. It's just the truth. You know, she the truth. I'm clever.
You're making her blush.
To answer for sis, man, I think Cleve brings like definitely optimism, like for sure. Like if something like I don't know, she be like, I'm gonna figure it out. You know what I'm saying? These big ideas, like man, we need $50,000 for this. She gonna figure out how to do that for the free. You feel me? Like ingenuity, the top level lyricism, like top 5, top 10 type of skill. And just the ability to like bridge gaps and like create community. is like is paramount to who Mother Nature is. Like if it wasn't for Cleve, like being as open as she is, like we probably like just me type Steve, like I'm to myself type of thing, but she has a fearlessness that allows her to like go outside of herself and like dive into other folks and like connect, like build some type of connection that allows people to keep coming back. Even if she can't always be the one reaching out, people don't forget. You know what I'm saying? People don't forget, like, man, I remember meeting you and it was this and it was that. And then like you said, like as a duo, it's just like dope to know that it's this is the person that you say share a stage with, you know, share songs and emotions and be vulnerable with. Like you can't, like it's hard to do that with everybody. Like it's either there or it's not, you know, and it's something that like we've built over time, but it was always there since the jump. Like since first meeting us, first coming together, creating music, building on Miseducation, all those types of things. So man, I think it's just like for both of our skill sets to come together, it was like a beautiful marriage that allowed Mother Nature to flourish the way that it has and continues to grow. So I'm just grateful, you feel me? So
Hell yeah. Now with that being said, Mother Nature, what is some advice that you each have for up and coming artists, creators, influencers?
Man, just continue to like do what feeds your soul. Connect with those and build with those that are in alignment, that are continuing to do the same. Be fearless, you know what I'm saying? Ignore all the chatter that's in your brain sometimes that we negatively talk on ourselves. Give yourself grace. Love on yourself, love on your cipher. Learn some continuously. You know, and just listen to nature, man. Listen to God. God is gonna steer you in the right direction. Anytime we come into things that we're like, man, we don't know where we should move on it, we pray on it. You know what I'm saying? Pray individually, pray together. Like that always aligns us in a way that is beyond like what's in front of us. And we can have millions of dollars in front of us, but like, is that what we need to be doing? Is it something else? And only God can tell you that. So stand true to that. Like you're not gonna fail.
Hell yeah.
What she said.
There we go. So let's promote your album real quick.
Seasons out now on all platforms. This is just a mixtape. You feel me? Exclusively produced by Boathouse. Big shout out to Closed Sessions for helping us push this joint.
Shout out all the features. You are going to fall in love with this off first listen. Show your friends, share it, tag folks, do all of that, man.
Show your mama. Show your auntie.
Your grandma, all that. Go out in nature and listen to this. Ride down the Ave through this to this, and just know that like seasons is within you as well. You feel me? So I hope you find out what season you in as you delve into ours.
Hell yeah. And what is the easiest way for people to reach you guys?
Mother Nature Bars with a Z.
You feel me?
That's our Instagram handle. We are also on Twitter at mo_nature. And honestly, Mother Nature, we everywhere.
Most definitely. You want to get into the education, Miss Ed of hiphop.org. But everything Mother Nature is mothernaturebars.com. You can find everything.
There we go. This is the NAST podcast with
Mother Nature.